What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Lens Reviews. I'm Lou, and we're actually doing a movie review today. So yeah, I have to be motivated usually to do video reactions. I don't know what it was today. I felt very lazy. Work's been kind of kicking my butt, if I'm honest, and I don't know. I don't know. I just was just one of those kind of lazy days, and for me to give you a proper reaction, I just I can't just make it up on the spot. Um, some people have that technique, down. I can't do it. I want to give an honest reaction to, a lot of stuff. I have 3 videos already set aside that I want to, tackle, but yeah, I want them to be legit. But anyway, um, quick backstory: I haven't been to an actual movie theater since the pandemic, and since it's been over with. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get around to going to an actual theater, but I did. Um, in Sometime in December, actually, and I saw Godzilla -1. Now, if anybody knows me, I grew up with Godzilla pretty much. It's what I loved giant monster movies, as aside from horror and sci-fi and action. They just had a special charm that kind of fit with my upbringing, and I loved it. And I always preferred the Japanese version of Godzilla, and all the monster movies that came out of Toho Studios. Yeah, they were just epic to me. Essentially a guy in a rubber suit, you know, squashing models of Japanese cities and fighting other people in rubber suits as monsters. It's a charm. You gotta kind of like it and understand it to appreciate it. Today, we live in a world full of CG and um, these, computer graphics. They really don't compare. Same thing with practical effects to the old school stuff. But sometimes it works, And in this case, I'm not crapping over CGI. It's when it's necessary, it's necessary. I appreciate it. But for this movie, it had the charm again. It was a very serious, darkly themed, very dark tone movie. And because I was worried, because I was like, oh, they're rebooting Godzilla again? You know? I'm not sure what the end game was here, but I'm happy they did it. I'm glad they did it. Because this movie was phenomenal. In fact, it's still in the theaters. They want to release uh, like a black and white version of the film. I know a lot of people that are into that artsy kind of style. I might go see it again just to check it out. Appreciated it again. Because when I was in this theater at the end of the movie, people got up and clapped. So that should tell you something. Um, like I said, you have to be into these kind of movies for to enjoy them. I'll tell you one thing: the human drama in this. I know it's a monster movie, but the human drama in this will get you like teary-eyed. It was a very serious story. All right, so Godzilla -1, right? I believe it came out December 1st, actually, 2023. So it's still fresh, still in the theaters. I have no idea when it's going to be released on, video on demand or Blu-ray. So, yeah, let me tell you something about the story. So basically, it takes place kind of at the tail end of World War II. It's a Japanese movie, so the Imperial Japanese Army, and a kamikaze pilot lands on this looks like an island with a bunch of engineers. Now, for those who don't know, a kamikaze pilot were used at the end of the war, and basically these guys were like suicide pilots. They would crash their planes into American ships or Allied ships, pretty much. Well, this guy, I guess he must have didn't have the heart to do it, and he lands on this beach, says there's something wrong with his plane. He gets it checked out, and he just kind of camps out there for the night. Into the night, alarm goes off. They hear a strange noise, and out of a horror movie, we see a not so big version of Godzilla, like a more of a primitive version of Godzilla, like almost like a sea monster. Decimate these engineers. And this Japanese pilot has an opportunity to take him out, but he doesn't. And now he has that guilt. So we fast forward a little bit. He survives the war, makes it back to Tokyo or some place in Japan, I'm not sure where, but it's devastated. I mean, this is the end of the war. Obviously, we won that war, but so you can just imagine the amount of destruction Japan received. You know, it's crazy. And he's trying to look for his folks. They died in the war. His family's no more. A neighbor spots him, and she knows that his job was a kamikaze pilot or some form of it. And she's like, you're such a disgrace. You should have done better. Fought. This is your fault. So he gets a lot of blame, and he's pretty much broken. He's a broken man at this point. So he's just trying to kind of goes with emotions. He's taking it all in. At some point, he meets like a straggler, a young lady who has a baby. Baby's not hers. She actually was a friend of hers that kind of passed her the baby. She thought the baby would be better, better off with this woman. And they kind of meet. They kind of bond together. And you see him start to rehabilitate his life. He looks for a job. He gets it. And it's like the most crappiest job in the world. Meanwhile, Japan is kind of rebuilding in a way. And like I said, he finds work, and it's like I said, it's a horrible job. Basically, he has to go out in the ocean on a rickety wooden boat to deal with sea mines. You touch these mines, poof, that's it. End of story, right? So guess what? So the Americans are still testing, atomic bombs out in the sea. No real harm there. Somehow, Godzilla, the thing he failed to kill in the beginning, so the primitive Godzilla gets exposed to the radiation, and boom. Now he's this mammoth. And, the first half of this movie feels like Jaws, because there's these guys on the ship, being hunted by Godzilla, mostly underwater. We see a few shots of him come up. We see him devastate these huge battleships. It's all, the visuals in this are insane. Yeah. Like I said, I can't even. I'm gonna keep going, but I'm already spoiling half of it, so I might as well. So he, I think he realizes like, this is my fault. I should have killed this thing when I had the chance. So a lot of bad things happen to this guy, and a lot of the guilt kind of weighs on his back until they find a solution. One of his friends is like really brilliant. They all kind of come together, and this is when you start to see, what's left of Japan be devastated again. Hence the title, I think, -1, because they're already at 0. So this is like, like you can't get any worse than this for this country. It's a shame, Now you get this giant monster wreaking havoc, and the Godzilla design in this, it grew on me. He's vicious. He's a force of nature, and that's how Godzilla is. Doesn't have that kind of personality. Some movies he's portrayed as a hero or an anti-hero. Fine with that, obviously. But he's a force of nature. He's a freak of nature. He started out as something prehistoric, exposed to radiation, and now he is a monster, and now people have to deal with it. And let me tell you, man, I mean, from the score, they used the original Godzilla score. There was nothing bad to like about this movie. I could keep going here, but I'm just gonna stop in case you guys actually want to go see the movie, how it ends, and how they come up with it. And obviously, you don't have to take my word for it, but the praise this movie is getting is all well deserved. I'm not bullshitting you here; it's completely worth it. Even if you don't like monster movies and you want to just kind of dive in. Okay, just keep in mind it's a Japanese movie. Subtitles. So, I believe it's like 2 hours long. Don't quote me on that. So, you're going to have to deal with that. But it's not that hard of a movie to follow. Like, I think we all know a good movie when we see it, whatever the language. So, definitely, it's worth a look. And I will say this. It has a very open-ended ending, without spoiling it. And the amount of money this received back, the amount of money they put in to make the film, well, the money they got returned surpassed that. It blew all expectations. Might even get got foreign movie of the year. Might get nominated. It deserves it. I mean, it definitely toppled over some of big production action movies that the Americans have put out recently. I don't know, it just hits. This one hits different. Like I said, while all this is destruction's going on, you got this very emotional human story, about the survivors and the pilot and what he's dealing with. It's just really, really great. And what's interesting is, like, you could take Godzilla out and put in another, form, like a hurricane or a volcano erupting, something destructive. It would still have the same effect. That's what I'm talking about. Godzilla in this movie is a diabolical force of nature created by man that can't be stopped, and it's wonderful. I'm using my hands a lot here. I'm Italian, but yeah, man. I don't even have anything bad to say. Like, I really don't. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with the actors. That entire Japanese cast, Japanese production, Toho Studios. If you don't know who they are, they're the ones that make the monster movies right. They made other movies too, but they're like, I guess like the Paramount to Japan, pretty much, or Lionsgate or whatever big American studio, Hollywood production company. Toho does movies right, and I recommend it. Like I said, if you enjoyed the Godzilla, the American versions of Godzilla, like, King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, all that stuff, and give this one a try. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, it's a very serious, dark themed movie. Has a very, very serious tone, and it's played like that, and it works. So please, if you get a second, if you get a chance, stream it if you can. But watch Godzilla -1. You will not be disappointed. And there you have it. The way the budget and the expectation this movie made, like I said, it's going to be re-released in a black and white tone to, I guess, give it kind of like a dramatic effect. Because the original, the 1954 version, was obviously black and white. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one holds up to that. Anyways, like I said, the expectations blew out of the water, and I can almost guarantee there will be a sequel and probably more to come, when it comes to the Japanese version of Godzilla, and I'm all for it. If it's anything like this, I can't wait. All right, well, that's really all I have to say. That was Godzilla -1. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. You could just look it up yourself, Google it, and you will see the praise this movie rightfully deserves. And yeah, no bullshit. All right, guys, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, throughout my channel, please like, comment, subscribe. That helps me grow this channel, and I can provide more content for you guys. And I will get back to those video reactions, I promise. All right, guys. Thanks again, and see you all very, very soon. Peace.